Pizza Hut pizza, and I guess it never showed up.
Did you actually did you look at the app? Did it say it was delivered or anything? Or
it did not say delivered.
Did it refund you your money?
It did not refund me my money.
You probably just didn't do it.
No,
meant to do it.
I definitely didn't do it. No,
I'm going
to do it again tonight in Brooklyn. Now, they're going to be there tonight. No LeBron and no AD tonight in Brooklyn, right?
Yeah, they still might win, though. This
Think
is
so?
Yeah, this is one of those letdown. This is one of those Patrick Ewing games that Bill Simmons used to talk about. The Ewing effect.
Missing man?
Yeah, when the stars are out, sometimes the role players jump up and have an amazing game. So this will be a Lonnie Walker goes for 34 tonight.
Nice.
I
like your attitude.
Yeah.
I like your attitude. Meanwhile, referee is apologizing to LeBron. Oh, we didn't even get to. So what was the night like with your 22nd high school? Did you know everybody?
Well, yeah. I mean, I knew most people. There were a few people I was like, tell me who that is. Because I totally forgot who they were. And I actually said to one person, they're like, hey, how are you? I was like, I'm sorry. I don't remember your name. And so,
and even if you have name tags, it doesn't help.
It doesn't help at all. Yeah, but it was actually pretty fun. It was nice to see all these people. It was about a 350-person class. There was about 60 people there with their spouses. So with all that. It was the same conversation over and over and over.
Right. Which was? What was the conversation?
So where are you? Oh, I'm in Valley Village. Oh, how many? Do you have any kids? Yeah, I got an 11-year-old. Oh, what do you do? I work downtown. I work at ESPN LA. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, okay.
Did anybody know who you were? Did you have any fans there?
No, I mean, there's a couple people that knew of the show, and they're like, "Oh, you work at 710? That's cool." They just didn't know.
Did they say what's Steve Mason really like?
No, nobody asked me that. Adam Davis was not there, by the way.
What? After
all of that, he was not there. So if he's listening, why weren't you there?
And are you happy with this? So 20 years, and technically it was 22 because of the pandemic. Are you happy with where life has left you after 20 years? Away from high school.
Of course. Yeah, dude, I work here and I talk about nonsense and sports. I think I'm doing okay for me.
Yeah, you are doing okay.
Are you feeling okay after?
Okay, careful.
I'm being careful.
After what?
However many years it's been since high school.
How many years has it been? 2022 minus 1983, 2-1, carry the 9, then 2-1-9.
that hard, mates.
We're back.
1983?
Yeah.
1983?
Is it 39 years?
So no, it's 23.
40.
It'll be
40
40
this year. 40
yeah, it's your
this year.
40th.
It's a nice
40
round
years?
number.
Are you gonna go? Are you gonna go to your 40th?
No.
Why not?
No. I don't know anybody there anymore.
They
you
know
didn't go to
you.
your 10, you didn't go to your 20. You didn't go to your 30. You should go to your 40. Remember what
Because
you said
people
to
will
me.
be dead by 50.
Yeah. You may
know?
never get this chance again, Mace.
It'll be my 20th next year.
Oh, will you go, Jorge?
Hell no.
You should go.
Nah.
You should go.
I don't even remember a lot of
It
the
doesn't
people I
matter.
went to high school
It's
with.
just like a fun
remember
nostalgia
you?
play.
Yeah, but I'm like literally, you know how Greg was with some people? Like, I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I would be, first of all, I have facial blindness like Brad Pitt. So I don't recognize people in the normal way. You know what I'm talking about, Bergman?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking. You're a liar, but it's
so
okay.
I have facial blindness. So I won't recognize people just based on that. And then I'll feel bad that they don't remember me and I remember them.
Do you have
Or
a
vice
high school
versa.
yearbook? Do you have a high school yearbook
I
at all?
do.
So what if you spent 1 hour on the flight looking through that high school yearbook and kind of just refreshing a couple names and faces?
Seems like a lot of work.
I mean, you're already on the plane.
Yeah. I did go back there. They gave me like the most distinguished alumni or most extinguished alumni.
Extinguished.
But you have an excuse. It's 40 years. You have an excuse. Like, Momo, when you go to your 20th, will you be...
I went to my 20th. Thank you for thinking that I'm not there yet.
You're welcome.
I graduated in 97.
Okay. Did you remember everybody? Did you know
not
them?
at all.
Nobody?
I remembered a lot of people, but not everybody.
No.
And there were definitely people who remembered me that I had no clue who they were, and I had to just be nice.
Yeah, that's kind of how you have to do. You have to be like, oh, hi. Oh, it's so good to see you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Wow.
You know what's
have a
great?
2-year-old.
I finally have got a good angle on YouTube today.
That is a good angle.
Yeah, it is. It's a totally good angle. You can actually, if you happen to be on, you can see my dogs behind me. I'm looking directly into the camera as opposed to looking off into space to the side. This is the way it should be every day.
Where are your dogs? I don't see your dogs. If you go to
they're right over
youtube.com/ESPN,
right over my shoulder.
Right over your shoulder.
See the pictures of my dogs?
Oh, the pictures. I was
Yeah,
actually looking
no, my
for
dogs
the
are not
actual
physically
dogs.
over my shoulder. That would not make any sense.
I mean,
It would make sense. We want
Yeah,
to
it
see
would.
your dogs.
It would.
Everybody
Yeah,
wants
no,
to
they're
see
back.
Ron the dog.
you could
No,
be like
Ron
me
the
and
dog.
Akayam, so their podcast featuring Lenny.
And featuring Lenny, exactly.
Yeah.
Momo, are you playing in the pickleball tournament?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Like I heard you guys talking about it on the radio,
Yep.
and I was like, oh, that would be cool. But then no one officially asked me or coordinated with my schedule. And then I looked at the date, and it's like the weekend I go to
that's
spring
right.
training.
This is when you go to spring training.
So, I mean, I guess I could fly home early, but that would kind of suck, too, because it's my spring training weekend with the girls.
Well, aside from that, all the teams are now
Yeah.
sold out. They sold
Yeah.
out in like 6 hours, all the spots in the tournament.
That's
But
cool.
you can still reserve your VIP seat by going to espnla.com. And
I think it
registering
sounds really
today.
fun, and I think people are probably really good at pickleball.
Yeah, I am not. Bergman, I thought we were going to do some sort of
Yeah.
pickleball training event.
We are actually going to be doing that with a listener named Ara. We're going to go do, you and me, and if Jorge wants to come or anybody else, we're going to actually do a training for it
I think you should.
with our paddles. We're getting them this week.
I just do not want to be a clod in yet another event.
I mean, it's good for the show. It's a good bit.
Yeah, it's good for you guys to mock me afterwards.
I mean,
It's not
I
really
still
good
get
for
a
me.
chuckle at the mace plant.
Of course you do.
Every time I see it, I go, oh, God, that hurts
I do.
so bad.
By the way, I do the same. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, what was I thinking?
I mean,
It's like,
your face
oh.
bounced off of the floor. It's
Yeah, it
gotta-
was really rough.
I think what the part about the mace plant that is still so unbelievable to me is like how many times you fall. Like it's not just one fall. It's not like you just got sniped, right? Like you just
Correct.
You're
It is
like
several movements.
and it feels
Yeah.
like it's in slow motion, but it's not.
No, it is happening. It happened in real time, believe me. All right, coming up next, we're going to spin the wheel of questions at 2 o'clock. What's up, fool? At 2:30, Scott Kaplan's going to come on for a minute, talk about his weekend at Yamava, and then we got Game of Games, my game today. Hey,
Ooh.
look, you did the tough thing during COVID. You paid your people and you pulled. right, here we go. It is Wheel of Questions time, and it is a listener wheel, and here's what popped up. It's from a guy named Frank Reynolds. Clippers fan or Chargers fan? If you had to be one, which would you pick and why?
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it's really
I'll go Chargers.
rocking a hard place. You go Chargers. Why
Yeah.
Chargers?
I've been to a couple of those games. They're pretty fun. So better than the Rams. I'm just playing.
Says the guy who just got ousted
Chargers,
from the
exactly.
playoffs. Yeah,
I'll be a Chargers fan.
Chargers fan.
Hey.
Bergman, what about you? It's a tough choice. San Diego Chargers or the Clippers?
Well, there's no football team I hate more than the Chargers.
Really?
Yeah. No, absolutely. I'm a massive Raider fan. I'm going to give you the real answer. It's not Tuesday, but it doesn't matter. My ex-wife ended up leaving me for a Charger fan.
No!
So, yeah. So
Oh
I
my
hate
God,
them.
That is such an ego blow.
Even more so, that makes it worse. So, like, whenever they lose, it makes me happy. Like, I actually get that little bit of feeling of, yes,
Yeah.
they
So your
lost.
wife left you for a
Well,
Chargers
she,
fan.
yeah, I mean,
Interesting
whatever
framing.
happened. Yeah, it's interesting framing. I didn't know how else the best way to put it. It took a little bit of time, but whatever, it doesn't matter. So I hate them like with a burning hot passion.
Yes.
I don't like the Clippers at all, but
You must
it's not
pick one.
It's not the Celtics, so I'll take the Clippers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Momo, I don't know.
I can't really answer this question. Okay.
No, you can't.
But even if I could, I would. Like, I can't. I'm with Greg. I'm a Raider fan. I cannot root for the Chargers.
No.
Like, it's
Okay.
just a. Yeah.
I would choose to be, if I had to be one, Clippers or Chargers. I don't have any really, despite what Ireland says, I don't really have a grudge against the Chargers. I mean, I think they're LA's secondary team. I don't root for them, but I don't hate them by any stretch. I hate the Clippers. I don't hate the Chargers. The Chargers are relatively inoffensive to me. So I would go Chargers. Plus, I like Justin Herbert. I think he's one of the best young quarterbacks in the game. I think they always have a chance to make a playoff run. Clippers, man, I'm going to be – if they really are, and Momo, do you think they're a live bet to win the NBA title this year?
Yeah. I don't think they will, but I think they'll be in it. I could
would
see them
bum me
easily
out.
going to the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, I would say Chargers. And by the way, you know that when Ireland is here, he says the Chargers hate me so much they would never give us a guest from the Chargers.
They really hate you?
Yeah, Bergman, they hate me, right?
I mean, yeah, they're not big fans of yours.
Did they not just hear my answer to this?
I don't think they care. I don't think they're listening to you anymore. Only when Ireland's here.
Only when Ireland's there. Yeah. Well, as soon as I'm out, Ireland will have Brandon Staley and Justin Herbert, and everything will be fine.
No, we won't.
Even though, I hope not. I hope not.
We're not going to. Why would
All
we
right,
do that?
Do you care
there
Kellen
have it.
Moore is their new offense coordinator?
Yeah,
Is
Kellen
that
Moore
exciting?
from the Cowboys is taking over.
Yeah. There's your Chargers update for the day.
There it is. There it is. All right. So right now, let's play the play-by-play call of the final play of regulation Saturday night in Boston. Lakers versus Celtics.
Dennis Schroeder to bring in 4 seconds left. The game is tied. LeBron's got it. He's attacking the rim. He goes to the rim, lays it up, no good. And what do we got? And they don't call a foul, and LeBron is livid. LeBron is absolutely livid. LeBron is beside himself.
Surprised they didn't call a tech. He just went so crazy, but the referees just ignored it. Overtime.
Yeah, the refs ignored it because they were wrong. They ignored it because LeBron was quite obviously fouled. And now, Momo, there's all kinds of conspiracy involving the official, Eric Lewis, and the fact that his daughter may have been a Celtics. Fill us in on this.
So, this is a really the big conspiracy is that the ref who didn't make the call here has a record which is pretty favorable to the Celtics in games that he's officiated, right?
Like
Greg?
dramatically favorable.
Yeah,
What do you
so
got?
overall he's had 77 games with the Celtics, and the Celtics are 49-28 overall according to Basketball Reference.
Of course, the Celtics are also really good.
Celtics are good. That
So they
shades
should,
the conversation
yeah,
for
shades
sure.
it. Okay, but his daughter apparently lives in Boston and works there, and there's a photo of her on social media that's been going around wearing Celtics jerseys and things like that. Okay, you always want to try to avoid the appearance of any impropriety when you have a role like a referee, right? And so, but I just don't know where do we draw the line? Like referees have families, their kids live in certain towns.
They root for certain teams.
They root for certain teams. You're allowed to wear your favorite team's jersey. I know why people are angry, and I know why that photo's coming up. But I mean, come on, this is like the referee's daughter. Are we really going to go this? We're really going to hold her to that standard?
Well,
like he just blew the call. That's it.
Right,
like,
but we live in an era where everything's a conspiracy. Everything is a massive conspiracy right now. So now the conspiracy is Eric Lewis, who is the ref that didn't blow the whistle on the LeBron play. His daughter is wearing a Celtics jersey, and there is the appearance of impropriety.
Yeah, and there is. I mean, it looks, like it. I remember one time I was doing a story, and it was one of those, we have to choose our words very carefully. I think it was the story, I was a news story I was writing about. Dwight Howard, in his meeting with the Lakers, asked the Lakers whether or not they would ever consider using the amnesty provision on Kobe. Okay.
Right. Oh, right.
Right. And it wasn't like, I want you to use it, but, the topic came up, right? Because they had just given him an extension, and Dwight, if he was going to extend with the Lakers, wanted to know when would it be my team, when would the torch be passed, yada, yada. And I twisted myself into a pretzel finding the exact right words. And at the time, I remember Mark Stein, who was my colleague at the time, we were writing together on the story. He goes, look, we're going to do all this work, but people are just going to see Dwight, amnesty, Kobe, and that's it. Like, it's just, we shorten the sentence. We go out of our way to make it to be as accurate as possible in what actually happened. But the way that people process information is just such that you just see the most obvious, most salacious thing. So you see a bad call, referee has a record which looks favorable to the Celtics, even though I can point out that the Celtics tend to be pretty good. So that's not that shocking.
Historically, they're very good, so it makes sense that the record would be shaded
would be
towards
pretty
the
good.
Celtics.
Okay, and so his daughter lives in Boston, and she's a Boston fan. That doesn't mean that he's not going to make that call on LeBron. Like, I know it looks not great, but come on, like, you're allowed to have a family, and your kids are allowed to have a favorite team, and like my kids are going to grow up, and they're probably going to be fans of the LA teams. Like, it doesn't mean that I can't be impartial, right? It doesn't mean, like, if Daniel puts a Dodger hat on, or I take him to a Dodger game, I'm not going to say, hey, let's not take any pictures with him in a Dodger hat.
Right.
Like, people are allowed to, we have to, like, draw the line someplace. So, and he blew the call, yes. And I thought it was a pretty strong apology from the referees union there. Like, literally, sleepless nights.
Here's what it is. Like everyone else, referees make mistakes. We made one at the end of last night's game, and it is gut-wrenching for us.
Yeah.
The play will weigh heavily and cause sleepless nights, so we strive to be the best referees that we can be.
Oh, come on.
That's a strong apology.
That's garbage.
Do you really
is
think
what
it's
that is.
gut-wrenching? Do you really think they're losing? Do you think Eric Lewis lost sleep over this? Come
He
on.
did, yes, he did.
Slept
I
like
guarantee
a baby.
you he did.
Slept like a baby.
No, I guarantee. I know
His head was in the
referees, okay?
pillow.
Those
His blanket's
guys,
up tight.
they lose sleep over stuff like this. They hate it when they blow a call like that. I mean, wouldn't you?
Let's get Eric Lewis some Ambien right away. He's losing sleep.
Come on,
over this
those
play.
guys take their
Celtics
craft very
DJs.
professionally. That's like the worst thing you can do is question someone's
Okay, so
professionalism.
let me ask you this then. I see a tweet here. Fire or suspend the refs that missed the call. Something needs to be done. You are single-handedly hurting the product of the NBA and losing the league viewers and fans. Accountability needs to be prioritized.
Okay, how about we change the rule to where the refs can huddle up after that play and say, wait, we missed that one. Can we take a look? We don't need to fire everybody just because they make a mistake.
Right, but will anything happen to Eric Lewis?
Do you think his last 48 hours have been fun?
Well, he's obviously sleepless.
I mean, come on, let's all get over ourselves. Like, it was a bad call, absolutely.
It was a win in the standings for a team that's going to need every win they can get.
And by the way, all the
first
other
time.
Eastern Conference teams are upset about it too. Yes, because they're all chasing Boston. It had major consequences, but there was so many plays in that game. There are so many other reasons why people lose. Like, that was a bad call, but that's never the only reason you lose. The guy blew it. They owned it. They said they're sorry. There's nothing you can do about it now. But, What are we going? We're gonna go like try to cancel his daughter, who's a good doctor in Boston.
No, but we're
gonna fire him?
Some sort of penalty you get for missing a call that badly?
Well, maybe he doesn't get a playoff game this year, or maybe he doesn't get to referee. I mean, look, Scott Foster has a reputation with Chris Paul to the point where like it's a thing now.
Yeah,
and the league actually goes out of its way to make sure that they don't hurt Scott Foster he still referees Chris Paul games, and it's a story every time, and because Scott Foster's a good ref, and it's things generally in the scope of the NBA game and NBA season, they even out. Like there's a bad call that goes against you, there's a bad call that goes for you. Like it
right.
just.
But if the officiating had been right over the course of the last 2 weeks, the Lakers would have.
Yeah,
two more
they've gotten some
wins in
bad.
the standings.
I agree with that. They have gotten some bad calls. However, that's never the only reason you lose. It's just it'll even out. There'll be a game or two down the road where you'll get a break the other way. That's just how these things go. I have to believe in that.
Okay.
I don't you believe in that? Like things even out over the course of a season?
Well, here's the thing. This could, in a lot of ways, Phil Jackson used to have press conferences and sensitize officials to this guy's getting calls, this guy's not getting calls. Maybe this entire event means that LeBron will now be officiated more fairly moving forward.
Right.
Carefully.
Or carefully. I agree. And I also think in that moment, you're a referee in Boston Garden.
Yep.
In a national TV game with a lot riding on it. Most of the time, what do we say at the end of games? Let the guys play. Don't you be the reason that the game is decided. It's in the NFL. What are we talking about in that Kansas City Bengals game? The late hit on Patrick Mahomes.
The late hit was legit,
but it was a legitimate late hit, and they made the right call calling it. And so, even though that is probably the reason why the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl, okay. The guy from Cincinnati, he blew it. That was a bad play. He shouldn't hit him out. I mean, the refs that was probably a hard call for them to make.
No, I thought it was an easy call to make.
You don't want to be the reason deciding a game.
They hit 2 feet out of bounds.
I know. It looked.
I mean, it's a clear foul. It's not like the LeBron thing was a clear foul. So was this. It just happened to be.
I think it's a clear
Cincinnati.
foul when you watch it in replay. When you watch it real time, I'm not on the floor. I don't know what the angle was that the ref was looking at it. To me, I was like, "Whoa, he definitely got fouled."
Which one are you? You're talking about the
LeBron one? Yeah.
Oh no, there are photos of it.
Yeah, there are photos of it. But like, where's the ref standing? Is he in the right spot? Where like?
Well, that's also a him thing. If he's not in the right spot.
Yeah, and it's not just that guy. There's 3 refs.
All right, I'm done complaining about this for now.
Yeah.
We'll get some more complaining coming.
Go ahead. It's okay.
In the meantime,
I'm always defending the refs. I'm sorry.
Let's do a little What's Up, Fool? Coming up next, 2:30. Cappy's going to be here. 7:10 ESPN.
formerly known as Bobcat. It's time for What's Up, Foo?
What's up, Foo?
Take it away, Kurt Great.
Thank you very much, Chris. All right, so Tua Tagovailoa is still in concussion protocol as of just a few days ago, and will miss all of the Pro Bowl festivities. Officially, he had 2 concussions, but we all know he had 3 this year and 2 in 1 week. I think we all agree that his career should be over, but probably won't be. What advice would you give him to get him to hang it up, Mace?
My advice would be, dude, you're sitting on $30 million. You made $30 million in your career. You can make that last for the rest of your life. And if you try to play the rest of your life, there's a chance it's going to be miserable. So I would say, dude, rest on that $30 million and make it last. I don't think if I was Tua, I would go on playing.
Momo?
What's the case I would make? I don't know. I mean, to me, you have to come to that on your own. Nobody can tell you to hang it up. Like, I think that it's not you or me or anybody. Like, somebody close to him has to say that. But I would probably just go and read stories about guys who have had CTE and what that's done to their lives. And you see, like, the worst case scenario. Like, that's what really gets, whenever you really need to make changes, it's that you got to scare somebody into it. Right? You got to, like, really see what you're looking at. Because, I mean, I heard Kellerman talking about Muhammad Ali, and part of the reason why we love Muhammad Ali is because he put himself out there and he took so much pound. And, like, it probably took years off his life, or it contributed to his decline, his mental cognitive decline at the end. Like, he would you do that knowing that it would do that to you later in your life? Like, would you do that? Like, did he know that at the time? You know, do you feel that? Like, I don't know if you can ever feel it.
I don't think we were as aware of these issues during. And I mean, obviously, a boxer, that you fall into a different category when you're literally getting punched in the head, in the face. So that's a different category. But again, he's still in concussion protocol.
I know.
He's still in concussion. He's not allowed to play in the flag football game because he's in concussion protocol. That says a lot about his state and where he is. I hope, and I'm not going to, you can't tell somebody to retire, but I hope he looks at it and says, you know what, I think I'm going to walk away.
What's up, Foo?
All right, let's lighten it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Seriously, Greg, what the heck?
I've been wondering about that question for a while. It just seems like it's something he should do. Your health is more important than the game.
It's hard to do.
It is. I understand. A friend of mine put out on Twitter that she had a weird dream about Abraham Lincoln being a secret agent before becoming president. And I know I have weird dreams, but I never write them down. And when I do, it's always gibberish that I don't understand the next day. So do you write down your dreams when they interest you? And what do you do with them when you actually do write them down?
So I don't know what my dreams mean, but I remember them very well. And what's weird is I always go back to the same places in my dream. So, for example, I have New York dreams where I'm at the studios at the station in New York where I used to work. And it becomes this world that I go to. And I go to a station in San Diego that I used to work at. And I will wake up and remember that I was in those places, and there comes a point where I say, oh, man, I wish I was in L.A. And I always wind up, obviously, being in L.A. But I dream in terms of places as opposed to specific weird stuff. Who had the dream about Abraham Lincoln being a secret agent?
Just a friend of mine that I talked to on Twitter.
Because there's a movie called Abraham Lincoln Vampire Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
That suggested, that Abraham Lincoln was a vampire slayer in his free time. So that actually was a storyline that was. I mean, he obviously wasn't, but it's a funny concept. Momo, what about you? Your dreams,
I used to write them down when I was a kid, and then sometimes if it's super weird, I will wake Nevin up and tell him about it. But for the most part, I don't, because I want to be able to go back to sleep afterwards.
Right.
Like if I take the time to write it down, like let's say you wake up with a bit weird dream at 3:00 in the morning. And you wake yourself up enough to write it down, it's going to be harder to fall back asleep. Whereas if you wake yourself up enough, like sometimes if I have a dream where I feel like I'm like falling or I'm about to die in the dream, I generally wake myself up. Don't you think? Like that's when you wake up with. Those are always anxiety dreams, right?
But I don't believe that whole thing that if you
die in your
actually
dream, you actually
hit
die. Yeah,
hit the ground in your dream, you die.
I don't either.
I don't
believe
either.
But I know that almost all of those dreams are like fear and anxiety dreams, right? So it's you need to wake up and go get a drink of water, or go to the bathroom, something like that. If you have one of those dreams, you got to wake up and walk around. But I try to go right back to bed. That's like this is like new mom speaking here. Like this is the trick to going back to bed. If you wake up too much, it's going to take another 20 minutes to fall asleep.
Right, but I write things down sometimes, and
it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't. It says something like nowhere near Garner's Ferry to Two Notch Road. I don't know. I have no idea what that means.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Nowhere near Garner's Ferry to Two Notch Road. I woke up at some point and
were you
wrote
lost?
This. I don't know. I don't remember it at all.
Did you take a ferry boat?
Maybe. It was
your
a while
dream?
ago. It wasn't. I don't know what date this was, but I'll wake up in the middle
That
of the night,
also could be
2 o'clock in the morning,
autocorrect?
and type in stuff, and then I wake up and I look
Could
at
be
it and go,
autocorrect.
What the hell is this? Does that happen to you, Jorge?
Yeah, it happened. But I usually tell Brenda the next morning, or I told Carla one of these weird dreams I had. I had a dream where when you had kids, and then your ex would die, you would have to take care of your ex's kids. Now, what ex would that be? I wouldn't be able to tell. It was one of those weird dreams.
Interesting.
Like
Weird. Yeah. I don't know if they mean something or not. I guess Momo, you're smarter than us. Who's the dream analysis guy? Is that Freud?
Yeah, Sigmund Freud. Yeah, I think.
Do you think he has answers to these questions, or obviously he's
most
dead,
of what I have read about dreams is that it's your subconscious and it's processing words. So sometimes dreams can be very literal. So like like what you said, the Garner's Ferry or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
It could just be like something Garner in your it could just be like a pun on the word Garner or something. Like sometimes it's like your subconscious is working on that. But most of the time, I really do think dreams are just
random BS.
No, random BS, but also emotions that you are feeling, things that you're like anxiety, insecurity, fear. Could be confidence, could be happiness, could be whatever. But most of it, I think, is just some version of anxiety.
Next time I have a good dream and I get some weird ones, I'm going to bring it to the show.
Good.
How about you do a voice memo? I think a voice memo rather than
a voice memo. That's a good idea. Yeah. Plus that would be good to play on the air.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah,
this
do a
voice
memo.
Came from 3:00 in the morning last night.
It's gonna be a bunch of random words put together.
Yeah, I'll try to do that too. I'll do it too. Next time I have a weird one.
What's
Won't wake
up,
you up
fool?
too much.
All right, what's up, fool? Okay, so we all like a good snack. So Anthony Edwards says that he eats 21 bags of hot Cheeto fries every week.
Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So, what is your favorite snack and how often do you eat it? I go with Hershey Kisses. We have a bag at home, and I do like 5 a day or whatever.
Favorite snack?
21 bags of hot Cheetos.
Fries, yeah.
Here's what first of all, there's nothing I eat that much. I eat air pop popcorn that much. I eat a lot of air pop popcorn. That's probably my go-to snack because I'm trying to be healthy. But I do have a thing now for the lemon loaf at Starbucks, which is fantastic. That lemon loaf is excellent. Got it yesterday and had it for dessert last night. So that's a kind of a newer go-to thing.
Yeah.
But air pop popcorn is probably my way to go.
All right. There's 2 answers to this question. The first answer is, what is your favorite snack that you love so much that you never buy because you cannot control yourself around it?
Mm-hmm.
We all have an answer to that question.
I do. I do Little Debbie's oatmeal cakes.
King's Hawaiian bread.
There you go.
Oh, so good.
Do not buy. Cannot buy. It will be gone. But what I generally tend to do, I've been trying to do Skinny Pop at night because I really like chips. I like a little salty chip thing. A
little savory
and
thing.
And so if I can go Skinny Pop, then I can get just a little of that fix. You know, and I'm trying to really cut back because like the mom weight is real, you know, and we gotta tighten up a little bit.
Bergman, do you have a go-to snack
that I eat all the time? Yeah, so I get these things. They're called That's It bars. I have them every morning, and they're just apple and mango like squished together, and I have one every single morning, and they're delicious.
What are they called?
They're dry. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Jorge, what about you?
Hershey Kisses or Oreo cookies. Oh, you can't have Oreo cookies at home.
Oreo cookies are so good. You know what they had for a while there was peanut butter Oreos.
Oh,
Did you ever have a
gosh.
peanut butter Oreo with the double stuffed, but it's peanut butter cream between the chocolate wafers
God.
instead of white cream. Oh,
Mace,
so
you're not
freaking
on your
good.
diet, are you?
I'm not. Weekends are super hard for me,
Me
because
too.
I'm sitting in front of a game.
Yeah.
I was just watching games this weekend, and
Yep.
you just eat mindlessly. During the week, I'm
I
fine,
know.
but during game
Me
day,
too.
I have a hard time being disciplined. So I didn't have an especially disciplined weekend.
Yeah, me neither.
What's up,
You
Foo?
want to do one more? Or end it
Yeah,
there?
do one more.
There you go.
All right, so I'm watching you on YouTube, by the way, Mason. You just keep like standing up, sitting down, standing up, sitting
Oh,
down.
I forgot I'm on YouTube. Yeah, I do.
I forget too.
This is what I wind up doing: sitting down, standing up. I do it a lot.
All right, do you want it, since it's the last one, do you want it on Jaron Jackson Jr. or Nia Long?
Nia Long.
Nia Long, all right.
Okay, Neil Long.
Nia Long obviously split from Ime Udoka after that whole scandal in Boston, but she went on the Drew Barrymore show recently and said she has her eye on one specific person. I really wish I could say it was me, but we've never met, so too bad. But how do you feel about celebrities talking about their relationships on talk shows and like making us guess like this?
Oh, so she didn't say who it was?
She didn't say what it was. She said, I'll never tell you who it is, but she's got her eye on one specific person.
Well, I got to say, I kind of respect that.
Yeah.
I kind of respect that she's being a little bit more private about things. Not everybody has to date Pete Davidson and be all over TMZ and all that stuff. If she wants to date quietly, good for her. Bergman, I think you like to date quietly.
I do
You
like
don't
to date
want
quietly.
a lot of publicity around your dating
Yeah.
life.
I do not. I don't.
Momo?
Oh, that was it? Okay, that was just an abrupt.
That's all I got.
Yeah, I like that, but I have a feeling that her publicist or somebody in her camp is making sure that whoever she has her eye on is going to know that.
Jorge?
That's
you
how
care?
these things work.
Yeah. You care at all?
What's up, Foo?
All right, that'll end it.
All right.
Clearly, Jorge did not care for the question.
It wasn't a great question. I just want to talk about Nia Long.
Yeah, it was
because she's-
just one of those.
It was just about Nia Long.
Just one of those.
I
All right,
just
coming
really
up
like
next,
her.
what state drinks the most?
Oh.
What American state drinks the most? We will do that coming back. Plus, Kaplan's going to come on at 2:30. I'm at home today because there's COVID in the house and blah blah blah. So tired of that. And in the meantime, let me tell you about Mirror Audio Video in Michael Thompson's birthday today. MT,
Hey.
happy birthday. Is he going to barge in on the show late today, Bergman?
He's in Brooklyn.
He's in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know, but normally they barge in very late in the show to participate in Game of Games. Do you think that's going to happen today or no?
I do think it'll happen today. Ireland is way too competitive to not take a day when it's worth 2.
Yeah, I don't know. That competitiveness is not healthy, is it?
For him, it is. He loves
I guess
it.
for him it is. I guess it works for him.
Hey, by the way, I do have a little bit of breaking news for you.
Oh, what is it?
It's for Jorge mostly.
Okay.
According to
Purdy?
Tom Pelissero, 49ers quarterback Brock Purdy suffered a complete tear of the UCL in his throwing elbow and will undergo surgery. He's getting second opinions, but the initial hope is he can undergo a repair, not reconstruction, a.k.a. Tommy John, and will be ready for training camp. So,
Because he was out there,
Maybe.
he threw some passes
like 5
without a
yard passes.
UCL.
5-yard ones.
Well,
Yeah, I
you
mean,
never
they
know
d-
exactly when.
Dink and a dunk, but yeah. Wow, so that's a serious injury. Complete tear of the UCL is big. Anybody disagree? He's the quarterback for the Niners going forward. There's no question about it, right?
As long as his elbow's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, I was going to do states that drink the most, but instead, Momo, since you're here, I wanted to do this.
Okay.
These are the 3 zodiac signs most
Ooh.
likely to cheat and destroy hearts.
Okay.
Sagittarius.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right.
Where do you get Sagittarius from, Bernie?
Well, they're adventurers and they're following their bliss and they're following
That's me.
My ex-wife.
Oh, your ex-wife. All right, here they are. Here they
Wait,
are.
you want me
the
to read?
3.
You want me to guess? Can I guess?
Sure.
Scorpio.
No.
No. Okay. Sagittarius.
Sagittarius is a yes.
All right.
Yeah.
That was easy.
That was
Gemini and
Oh yeah,
Libra.
Gemini. Oh, Libra's interesting.
Yeah, Libra.
Gemini, I would have guessed.
So I get this idea, Momo. You're into all this.
A little, not like to
Well, I
this
mean,
level.
Mercury is always on retrograde for you.
You know what? I was born during a Mercury retrograde, so apparently that makes that a good thing for me.
It's a good thing when Mercury's
It's like
in
a double
retrograde?
negative. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it
Interesting.
works for me.
So I have this idea. Now, do you have an
You
astrologist?
are always standing up.
Rich people always have astrologists. Do you have an astrologist? Like a
I
personal
have
one?
2.
A personal astrologist?
My best friend is really into it. That's why I know all this stuff. My best friend Allie, she's like
Has she ever done your chart?
several times.
Really?
Yeah. Do you want me to
Okay.
read? You want me to read? If you want to follow her,
No,
yeah.
I want to get my chart done.
Okay, I'll have her do it for you.
I've never had a chart done, and I'd be curious to see what that. Bergman, have you ever had a chart done? Do you believe in any of this stuff?
I don't, but I did. Somebody at my reunion does do this stuff, and we were talking about it. I was just kind of joking around, and she's like, "Give me your birthday, give me the time you were born," and she went through my whole life, and she was absolutely right.
Really?
Everything she
It's
said.
pretty amazing.
The very first thing she says, I don't understand what this means. Do you have an audience? And I was like, what? That's weird.
Do you have an audience? Is what she asked.
Yeah, that was the very first thing she asked me.
So my friend, she does like she'll do a chart for you, not just for your whole life, but she'll do it for, like for this year.
Right.
She'll do it for like this month, like things. I just texted it to you, May, so you could see.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Yeah.
She just did that
Wow,
for me
that's
as like
fancy.
a Christmas present, you know.
That's a cheap gift.
I mean, she did it herself. It took a lot of time. Such a jerk. It looks good. She did it
Hey, here's
herself.
what I'm getting you for Christmas.
Personal.
I'm just gonna write some stuff down.
Read some of it's
Chart.
good. It's really helpful.
Put it on a chart. That's really.
Hey, that's
cheap.
what Momo said about the chain you gave her. That's a cheap gift.
Yeah, you did.
She's ashamed of it, remember?
No, I still carry that around. It's in my car.
Really?
Let me see. It's even in my. I just put my purse out. It might still be in my purse. I still was carrying it around.
You still should
Yeah.
wear it on around
It
the
was.
horn.
It was. I did it during the.
She
Commercial.
did it during the
commercial.
warm-up period.
Yeah,
or
the
whatever
warm-up,
it
not
was.
actually on the show.
Rehearsal.
The rehearsal. Exactly.
Yeah, but that's still.
Yeah, it was all right. It was all right. Better than nothing.
And didn't mention Mason in Ireland.
And didn't mention
That
Mason
that was the
Ireland.
part
That
I
was a-
regret.
Yeah.
That was a big mistake.
That's the
'Cause you
part
know
I
what we're
didn't
looking
nail.
Okay, so get this. I want your friend who
Okay.
gives, who does the charts. I
Yep.
want to have a chart and see how
Okay.
realistic it actually is.
Okay, do you want it for your life or do you want it for this year?
What is there?
It makes a difference. Do you want it as like advice or do you want it for understanding?
I want it for understanding.
Okay, so
I want
I'm
to see
gonna
how
need.
right it is about me.
I'm gonna need your birthday, the time you were born, and the exact place you were born.
Okay, I will find that. I know where I was born. I don't know what time, but I will find you the actual time.
Because all of that matters.
Do you think she can whip that up for Wednesday when you're back here?
I could challenge her to do that.
Yeah.
I could challenge something. Yeah, I don't know how great. It would be better if she had longer, but we could do that.
Yeah. Let's
I could
try to
also
that.
do it without my friend doing it. We could just go on the Chani app and do it.
No, get somebody professional.
Real?
to do
Okay,
it.
yeah, she's
Yeah,
real.
I want a professional person.
All right.
By the way, it's Bud Light Reaction Monday on 710 ESPN, reacting to everything that went down yesterday. First game, not good. Second game, pretty exciting. It was down
good.
to the wire. Yeah. It's all presented by Bud Light. Make Bud Light your game day beer. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Got to be 21 or older. Please enjoy responsibly. Yeah, and I think the line, by the way, was interesting because the line opened, and it's been very fluid. Line opened Kansas City -2. It has moved now. It went to a pick'em. It went to Kansas City -1, and now it's up to Philly -1. So it's a very, very close game in terms of Vegas bettors. What's your early read on this game, Momo?
I want the Eagles to win, but I think the Chiefs will win.
Really?
I like Jalen Hurts. That's the guy I'm rooting for.
Me
That's
too.
the story, the guy I'm rooting for. I really like his attitude, but I think Mahomes is amazing.
What about you, Bergman?
I actually think the Eagles are going to win just because the Chiefs are so banged up. Their entire receiving core is all
Yeah,
banged
their whole
up.
receiver core really left the game yesterday.
Yeah, like Kelsey is fine, and he played well, but he's got a back issue. There's things like you got Mahomes on an ankle. Everybody was going down. I don't know if they're going to have the offense to go against that Bengal D. The Eagle D, who's just been incredible in these playoffs.
Yeah, they've been really good. By the way, New Yorkers, I lived in New York, so I know what this means. They always light up the Empire State Building for different things like National Italian Heritage Day. It's red, white, and green, and whatever it is. I think I've got that right, red, white, and green. But no matter what it is, Sinatra's birthday, it's lit a certain way.
Yeah.
New Yorkers are very, very upset.
I would be too.
That they lit up the Empire State Building in green
Like
after
what?
the Eagles beat the 49ers. What are you doing, Empire State Building?
New York, what are you doing?
New Yorkers, what can you be thinking?
Come
New Yorkers,
on.
They're like in full revolt over this.
I would be too. I would be really upset.
And by the way, the Empire State Building also tweeted out, "Fly, Eagles, fly. We're going green and white in honor of the Eagles' NFC Championship victory!" Exclamation point.
What?
Yeah. That's a
I don't-
tweet from the Empire State
Who is
Building.
approving these things? Like, who is in charge of this? Who is approving this?
Whose social media team screwed this
Seriously.
up? That is terrible.
I mean, I know it's like an hour and a half away, but Philly and New York are not the same. Like, these are
not
rival
at all.
cities. It's not quite New York and Boston, but like Philly and New York, that's competitive right there.
I mean, you can catch a train to Philly, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean you should be rooting for the Eagles in New York, land of
on.
the Giants. Yeah, it's an amazing thing that they screwed up there.
I'm texting my friend for you. I'm going to see if she can get this done for you.
Okay, good.
All right.
We'll do that. All right, coming up next for you, Scott Kaplan is going to be on the show. Cappy and I had a big weekend planned. It all became derailed. He wants to talk about that. We'll do it. Plus, Game of Games. It is my game today. You never know. Birthday boy Michael Thompson could roam in, or the wildly competitive John Ireland could stop by. That's all coming up for you in the next half hour. Then we will get you Slee with the pre as the Lakers take on the Brooklyn Nets tonight. No LeBron, no AD. Mason, Ireland, 710.
Hey, Laker fans, John Ireland here. Have you downloaded the new ESPN LA app? You got to get this thing. It's great. You can get Travis and Sliwa, Mason and Ireland, Sedano and Cap, and all of our Lakers talk with Slee right in the palm of your hand.
You're just one tap away from everything Lakers. You could even win Lakers tickets.
React to the Lakers on ESPN LA app.
Download the new ESPN LA app in the App Store or on Google Play.
Talent continues now.
I'm just looking at the YouTube comments, and boy, there are some Niner fans and some Rams fans going at it right now. It's very entertaining. Very entertaining. So we know the Super Bowl teams. It'll be the Eagles versus the Chiefs. Yesterday, big viewing party out at Yamava. Wanted to be there through a strange set of circumstances. I could not. Scott Kaplan joins us now. He was the official host. Cappy, what's going on, man?
Mace, how we doing today?
We're doing okay. We're at home, and Momo's in the studio, and things are rolling along. How did Saturday night go?
It went great. Momo, excuse me, really quickly. Great hair day today on ESPN for you.
Momo?
Not sure if you heard that.
No, I don't.
Jorge got up. I can push the talk button. There we go.
Okay.
Jorge's gone. I figured out what was happening.
He complimented your hair day.
You know what?
Yeah.
Let me give. Can I give a little shout out because we have these like professional hairdressers, and they work really hard. And I try to put them in my Instagram stories when they do it, but my girl Sophie did this today, and you know what? I should make this happen, Greg.
Yeah.
She's on Beauty by Sophie.
Congrats to Sophie. I'm glad
she really nails it. She does all of our hair. She does my hair, Malika's hair.
Cool.
Like we all are like. So
all right. So
she did a great job.
Thank you.
So Cappy, Saturday.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Let's describe what happened.
Well, can we talk honestly here?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So how much of the story have you already told?
Let's see. Here's what I told. I told Momo and everybody that on Saturday we were all set to come out to Yamava, and Juan started to say he wasn't feeling up to it. That's what it was.
Yeah.
He wasn't feeling up to it. So I start driving out to Yamava, and I get as far as like Chino or so. And Juan calls me and says, I just tested positive for COVID. And I'm like, oh, crap. Now I can't go to Yamava tonight. I can't see my mom and not stepdad Leo tomorrow. The whole thing winds up screwed. And I was very, very disappointed.
As was I. But here's my version of the story.
Okay, good.
So I'm starting to text you like, hey, Mace, we've got a dinner reservation at 5:30 at the Pines. We're going to have a beautiful steak. We're going to have a nice drink. And then we're going to go see Leslie Jones, and it's going to be fantastic. So when you told me that Juan wasn't feeling well, you were still on the way.
Correct. I was still on my way.
Right. Then Juan calls you and says, hey, I've got COVID, which you just told us, right?
Yep.
And so you said to me, hey, look, Juan's not going to make it. He's got COVID. But I'm going to come fly solo, and I'll be the fifth wheel. And, a fifth wheel is fine, or a third wheel is fine.
Sure.
Unless, of course, the person that you're married to and you live with has COVID and therefore has exposed you essentially to COVID.
Well, this is despite the fact that I'm still not testing positive. He's testing positive. I'm not. He's got mild symptoms. I have no symptoms.
Right.
So what are the
rules? What I was thinking was, now, how do I say this in a polite and respectful way, which is,
stay home.
Don't come. You cannot come here. You can't bring Juan's COVID through you, give it to me, Rachel, the buffer couple, and lots of 710 listeners and Yamava employees, et cetera,
Correct.
et cetera. So I was trying to, tiptoe. How am I going to say to him, bro, turn around. You cannot come.
Well, I was so bummed out, and I had tested negative, so I'm working it out in my head. Well, if I'm negative, then maybe I'm. But you're right. I mean, you said it on text, and I'm acknowledging it now. I didn't go.
I'm glad that you didn't go because that's totally how you.
That would have been completely insecure. Yeah,
you would have been like super spreader Mace.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
would have been terrible.
Yeah, and you'd feel really bad because it's not like I had this last year where I had. I was supposed to be the MC or something of the West Valley girls softball opening day.
Okay.
And then my mom had a positive COVID test, but it turned out to be a false positive. But it was like the day before. And I had just been around my mom. And I actually felt a little sick. So I got tested. I was negative, but I was like, I can't go to this little league and just be the super spreader who gets all these little kids sick.
Right.
I just can't do that. You know, I mean, it like you can't like. What if you showed up and you're going to like Yamava? Okay, how many? What's the age group of the people who were there?
Everybody. Yamava's for everybody,
for
right?
everyone,
Cappy?
right?
But it's 21 and over. But just imagine this, Marlo.
Yeah.
So Mace comes out by himself, right? He's got a negative test. Now me, Rachel, Mace, and the buffer couple, the 5 of us, all hang out. We have a very intimate, tight dinner.
Yes.
Right? Now we're all sitting next to each other and we're touching each other, and then we all get up and we go to Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
And by the way, Leslie
How was
Jones
she?
is out of control, hysterical. I mean, listen, I go to see a lot of comedy.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're big A-list names, and sometimes they're small Wednesday night in a club. I see a lot of stand-up comedy. Leslie Jones was out of this world, hysterical. So imagine you're in the theater now at Yamava with 3,800 people.
Yes.
And now you're starting to cough a little bit, and now you're giving it to me, and now I give it. And before you know it, we've given it to everybody.
Yeah,
correct.
Total super spreader.
Right, and that's why I didn't show up.
Yeah, it's responsible of you.
But I did think about it.
amazing.
I was confused. Like, for example, now I'm at home. I haven't tested positive. I'm still testing negative. We're sleeping in separate rooms, blah, blah, blah. But I think probably the responsible thing is to wait here and do the show from home for a week just to be careful.
I think you're right. I mean, generally speaking,
I think so too.
Yeah.
Which is a bummer because I hate doing the show from home. I hate it.
You know what? I do enjoy watching you standing up and down. It's pretty funny with the dog pictures. And
but it was a bummer for us too, though, because Mace, we were all really looking forward to hanging out with you and Juan. Number one. Number two, I know you would have loved the restaurant, the Pine Steakhouse, which was incredible. Leslie Jones was out of control. You would have loved it. And then we would have gone out, we would have gambled and had a lot of fun. And then the next day, yesterday, we literally, I'm telling you, there were thousands of 710 listeners.
Thousands?
Who came out.
That's awesome.
Well, I didn't want to exaggerate. You know,
No,
I was going to tell you millions.
Yes.
But I'm going to just stop at thousands.
Correct.
Thousands of 710 listeners who came out. They hung out all day long. People watched both games. They ate all day. They drank all day. They gambled. We had people come out. I had this family come out from East L.A. It was Mom's birthday, and they brought like 10 people with them. Mom went and sat and gambled, and everybody else sat there and ate and drank and watched football all afternoon. I mean, it was a real family affair. And, of course, everybody said to me, where's Mace? How come we didn't see? I'm like, I had to tell him. I didn't tell him your personal business. I'm like, oh, something happened. You know, I was hoping that you were going to tell everybody on the air because Sedano
I don't.
earlier.
But, Cappy, everything goes on the air here, so it really doesn't matter.
Same. So Sedano and I recorded a podcast earlier because we're not going to be on the air today. We're not going to be on the air tomorrow. I'm like, George, listen, between the Lakers-Celtics Saturday night, the AFC and NFC championship game yesterday, and the whole Mace story, we got to record a podcast. So George and I recorded a podcast earlier today, and I said, well, you know, Juan got COVID. And after I said it, I was like, oh, no, maybe we need to edit that out of there. Maybe Mace isn't telling people that Juan got COVID.
Yeah.
No, totally fine.
Yeah, good.
Where can we get this? Where can we get this podcast?
It is going to be on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. It will also be available on the ESPN LA app. And because, you know, we wanted to communicate with everybody. It's just that we're off the air for the next 2 days.
What did you think of the refs rooking the Lakers on Saturday?
I hated it. I mean, and to have them make an admission virtually immediately after the game, I hated it. But on the other hand, I hated seeing LeBron lose his mind so much because I was like, come on, dude. There's overtime.
Yeah, but it was the game, man. It was the whole friggin' game. I understand LeBron's reaction. You don't?
Of course I do. But with his years and his everything that he is, to lose his mind and lose his emotions like that, I got to say, I mean, I'm not really surprised because, let's face it, LeBron complains on every play of every game to every referee. But, listen, this is why I keep saying to George, he won't listen to me, and I'll keep trying to say it to everybody. The Lakers are not that far off.
They're not. I'm with you, Cap.
Yeah, if you're in Boston playing the best team in basketball on their home floor on national TV on Saturday night, and you're a missed call away from winning the game, they're not that far off.
I'll go even farther
for currently have.
You know what? They're not that far because I've seen so many of these games where they're right there with some of the best teams and they just blow it at the end. Anthony Davis wasn't even good the other night. They're right there with Boston, and AD's not even back yet. Like, I mean, he's back, but he's not Anthony
back,
Davis
but he's not
yet.
really back Anthony Davis back.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I really like that thing Pat Riley said to me the other day where he goes, I still think when they get Davis back, they're formidable. Like, they've got a shot. They have to get into the play-in. Right now, they're like 13th.
Yeah, but I mean,
if they get in, watch out.
But they're not far away from avoiding the play-in. I mean, realistically, they're not far from avoiding the play-in and getting into the 6.
They just need to go on a little run. They need to, at some point, get people healthy enough and go on a nice 15-game run where they go something like 11-4. Be
Ramona,
right back in it.
They are 2.5 games out of the 6.
Yeah, it's not that they're not that far off.
Right, they're not that far.
And that's with blowing like
Davis,
5 or 6 games like that this year.
Right. And when Anthony Davis, assuming he stays healthy, I know it's a big assumption.
Yep.
And if LeBron can stay in the lineup, and if they get anything out of this young man that they just got, Rui, and if they can, get Dennis Schroeder to keep playing the way he was, and if they can get Austin Reeves back, and they get Lonnie Walker back, and I'm not saying these guys are the saviors.
And maybe do one more thing. Maybe one more thing.
But did you notice Rui was playing at the end of that game? Rui's going to be good for them.
Yeah.
Like, he was in the closing lineup, and he was that big wing that you put on a Jaylen Brown or a Jason Tatum. Like, he was a good player already, and he doesn't even know what they're doing yet. He just got there.
Well, listen, Cappy, I am sorry it did not work out. I'm glad it went well. I'm sorry to have missed Leslie Jones, who I think is just hilarious. And once again, we will have to push off the official. Next time, there shouldn't be a buffer couple. It should just be you, Rachel, me, and Juan.
I agree, and I'll put this invitation out to you right now. On Super Bowl Sunday, the party's going to be even bigger. And here's the thing. For every touchdown scored, we're giving away $1,000, but you have to be there to win it. So let's hope we get a 49-42 Super Bowl and give away a ton of money.
So wait a minute. So how's that go again? $1,000 for
every touchdown scored. Somebody will win $1,000.
Wow,
jeez,
that is big.
That's better than squares.
I know Yamava, and I talked to them, and they were like, "Hey, we have this idea." And I'm like, "You're going to let me give away your money?" And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm in. Let's get a high-scoring Super Bowl.
Yeah, let's light it up. All right, Cappy, people can look for the podcast on YouTube, on the ESPN LA YouTube page.
ESPN LA YouTube, ESPN LA app. And we needed to communicate with everybody today, so it's a shorty. It's only about 20 minutes or so.
That's all right.
We're there.
All right, cool. And we will see you on Wednesday. You'll be back with a full show on Wednesday, I think, right?
I will. I'll see you guys then.
Cappy, sorry to have missed you. Thanks a lot for coming on, man. Appreciate it.
No, I'm glad you're good, man. I'll see you guys later. Great hair, Dave Romo.
Thank you.
All right, coming up next for you is Game of Games. It is my game today. Hey, we all have heard that jingle for years, and you should never forget those 8 words, because if you're involved in an accident or injury,
Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com. Call Jacob. Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle. Call Jacob. Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mace.
All right, here we go. It is Game of Games time. Bergman, no Michael and no John.
No Michael and no John. So if somebody else wants to play, Funchess, you want to go play?
No, we can't let Funchess play. He's too good.
No, we can let Funch play. Absolutely.
I want to win one.
We'll try hard on this one.
Okay.
Try really hard.
Yeah.
Try really hard. So it's
Man.
Bergman, Jorge, Funch, and Momo.
All right.
The score, by the way, the key is I don't want Bergman to win. I still have a chance to win the month if Bergman doesn't
Come
win.
on, Bergman.
Yeah, if I win, I win the month.
I am not rooting for you, Greg. You win too much.
I will root for myself.
So the Super Bowl, and we now know the matchup.
Let's
the
go.
Eagles and the Chiefs will be played in the Phoenix area.
Okay.
So I have got a quiz about Phoenix and the
Ooh, I might be good at this.
Phoenix area. It's in Glendale, technically. But it's fact or fiction. Fact or
All right.
fiction. So really easy.
All right.
Number one. Phoenix is the only state capital in the U.S. that has a population of greater than 1 million. Is that fact or is that fiction, Bergman?
That's weird. Fiction.
Fiction. Jorge.
That's fact.
Fact. Funch.
Fiction.
Fiction. Momo.
Fiction.
No, it is. In fact, Phoenix is the only state capital in the United States that has a population of greater than 1 million.
I missed the capital portion of that.
Yeah.
I was like,
What?
I was like, LA has more than 1 million.
Yeah.
No, but like Sacramento doesn't have more than 1 million people.
All right, next question. I get my point.
Next question.
That's crazy.
I did the research.
She's complaining. Minus one.
Wow.
Yeah. Number two, Lucille Ball briefly lived in Scottsdale, and her desert home is now registered as part of the State Historical Society. Is that fact or is that fiction, Jorge?
That's fiction.
Fiction. Funch.
That sounds like a fact.
Fact. Momo.
Fact.
Fact. And Bergman.
Fact.
Nope, completely made it up.
Jorge
That
running
Lucy
away.
ever lived in Scottsdale, Arizona.
A lot of people
Jorge,
did.
2, nobody else on the board. Number 3. Momo may have an inside track on this.
We'll see.
15 Major League Baseball teams have spring training in the Phoenix area. The Mets have the largest spring training facility, Citibank West, which has a capacity of just over 21,000 people. Is that fact or is that fiction? We start with Funch.
Fiction.
Says fiction. Momo.
Fiction.
Fiction. Bergman.
I'm going to go with Momo and say fiction.
Fiction. And Jorge.
I'll go fact.
Jorge, you should have gone fiction.
Yeah,
The Mets
they do.
train in
They're in
Florida.
St.
Yeah.
Lucie, Port St. Lucie.
Port St. Lucie, exactly. So it's Jorge 2, everybody
Should
else
ask me
1.
last. I definitely knew that one.
Here is number 4. The highest ever recorded temperature in Phoenix is 129 degrees. 129 degrees. Momo, is that fact or is that fiction?
Fiction.
Fiction. Bergman.
Fiction.
Fiction. Jorge.
Fiction.
Fiction. Funch.
Fact.
You should have gone fiction. The actual high temperature all time is 122. Never reached as high as 129.
129 is like that's ridiculous.
I thought it's Phoenix hot.
Yeah, Phoenix hot, and you know what? The asphalt makes it hotter.
Yeah, that's right.
Like when you're walking on, we did the finals one year in July. Remember the year that it was late? Oh my! I've never been so hot in my life.
Yeah.
Like walking around downtown. Okay.
Jorge 3, Momo 2, Bergman 2, Funch 1. Here is number 5.
All right.
Phoenix is a bustling television and film production town. Clint Eastwood movies Fistful of Dollars, A Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly were famously filmed in the nearby Sonoran Desert. Is that fact or is that fiction, Momo?
Fiction.
Fiction. Bergman.
Yeah, fiction.
Fiction. Jorge.
Fact.
Fact. Funch.
Fact.
No, they were filmed in Italy. They were called spaghetti westerns.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Burbank.
So we've
Burbank Studios.
Vasquez rocks. Maybe up in Acton. I like
We've
that.
now got Bergman, Jorge, Momo with 3 apiece. It
Let's
is a
go.
race. In Super Bowl 42 in Glendale, Eli Manning threw 2 touchdown passes in the Giants' upset of the New England Patriots. One was the game winner, caught by David Tyree. The other was caught by Plaxico Burress. Is that fact or is that fiction, Bergman?
That is fact.
Fact. Jorge.
Fact.
Fact. Funch.
Fiction.
Fiction. Momo.
Fiction.
Fiction. You should have gone fact.
Dang it!
It was. David Tyree and Plaxico Burress caught the 2 touchdowns.
I thought it could have been like Jeremy Shockey or something.
Yeah, I didn't think
right?
it was. I didn't think he was on the
right?
team. Plaxico.
He
at
was.
that time.
It was before
Bergman
he shot
4,
himself.
Jorge 4,
Yeah.
Momo 3, and Funch
Yeah.
1.
Dang it.
The saguaro cactus, or cacti, grow in the Phoenix area. They can take as long as 100 years to grow an arm. The saguaro cactus.
It's
is
saguaro-
that fact or is that fiction, Jorge?
That's fiction.
Fiction. Funch.
Fact.
Fact. Momo.
Fiction.
Fiction. And Bergman.
I don't think you know what a saguaro cactus is. Fiction.
It is 100% a fact.
Yeah.
There is such a thing.
Man,
as
I
a
thought Jorge
saguaro
would know his
cactus.
cactuses.
Oh, wow. What does that know?
I don't know. You just sounded so confident.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to throw everybody off, Momo.
It was the confidence in your voice.
So Bergman, Jorge 4 apiece, and Momo 3.
Dang.
Here we go. About
Funch have?
60%. Funch has 2. About 60% of California palm trees in L.A. came from the Phoenix area. Is that fact or is that fiction, Jorge?
I know this one. This one's fiction.
He says fiction. He says he knows this one. Funch.
See, you didn't sound confident there.
I say fact.
Fact. Momo.
I'll say fiction.
Fiction. Bergman.
I want to split with Jorge. Let's go fact.
Fact. You should not have split with him.
Dang.
Palm trees are not native to Arizona either. They don't come from Arizona.
No, I didn't think they would be.
So I got it right?
They're more
Yeah,
tropical.
Jorge's
Yeah,
got a
you
lead
got it
now.
right, yeah.
Momo 4, Bergman 4, Funch 2. We're down to the last one.
Ooh.
Okay. Jorge, you have to go first.
So I have to go against Jorge.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Opposite of Jorge.
The Phoenix area has more days of sunshine per year than any major American city. Is that fact or is that fiction, Jorge?
That is fiction.
Fiction. All right. Funch, you're kind of out of this, so we're going to cross you out.
That's fine. That's all right.
He says fiction, Momo.
I'm going to say fact.
Yeah, fact.
Fact. And Bergman.
I have to fact.
Yeah, we have to say.
And it is a fact.
Oh!
We're all
We
tied.
got a three-way tie.
Oh! This is
320 days of sunshine a year. All right. Here we go. Get something to write with and write on, because we do this the old-fashioned way now.
All right.
We write down our answers.
I got it.
Okay, got something? Momo got something?
And
Getting a pen.
There happens to be no paper in this
Okay.
place.
Yep, no paper.
No
pen.
paper.
Okay.
I'm going to write on
Tyler, here's
Tyler.
this
He's coming,
lipstick
he's coming.
case.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, the Dodgers played their spring training games at Camelback Ranch.
Yes.
True.
What is the actual stadium capacity? The actual stadium capacity. Go ahead and write down.
Is it
a
closest
number.
without going over or just closest?
Just closest. Just closest. Actual stadium capacity at Camelback Ranch.
Okay.
Everybody
to the
write it
camera.
down?
Yeah.
Momo, you got one?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, Momo, what say you?
8,000.
Oh, no, wait. I got
8,000.
the same number.
What?
Oh,
Jorge?
okay, well,
8,000.
8,000.
all right,
Bergman?
well, I'm too high. I did 10,132.
Damn! It's 13,000
Oh,
And Bergman takes the win.
Come
He
on.
clinches the month.
Oh, the month. It's over. Sorry, John Ireland. That's another month for me.
Damn. Damn.
They can put that many fans in there?
That's what it says.
I've been
yeah,
there
if
many times. You know,
if
that's
you-
like overflow seating on the grass berms and stuff.
Official
That's
capacity,
ridiculous.
it comes up 13,000. Yeah.
It's not that big. I
No,
mean,
it's
it's
not.
big, but like that sounds like a lot. 13.
That's
Yeah.
how you start the year, with a winning
Are
game.
we
of games.
including like the side fields or something? That sounds.
Well, no, if you just Google capacity, Camelback Stadium.
I just Googled it.
Yeah, just Google it. It says 13,000.
That seems like way too
13,000.
high. I've totally been there like
There are
a lot of
10,000
times.
That's crazy. I got
10,000
8,000, you got
seats
8,000.
and 3,000 berm grass.
10,000 seats.
Yep. That's official.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know.
official.
Okay.
According to the internet.
Be really, really packed. Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right, we're down to 1 minute
Dang.
left. Good show today, guys. We got Lakers basketball coming up for you next. Unfortunately, no LeBron James and no Anthony Davis tonight as they play at Brooklyn. It's been a good Championship Monday, brought to you by Bud Light. We appreciate them, as always, being one of our big sponsors. And Sliwa is next for you. I'm back tomorrow at 1 with Andy Kamenetsky, 710 ESPN.
Travis and Sliwa. Right.